It was supposed to be a calm, celebratory morning on the Today Show. The producers had promoted the segment all week. Prince Harry, a royal conversation about family, duty, and healing. Millions tuned in, expecting charm and laughter. No one imagined that within minutes, the Duke of Sussex would storm off the set, leaving Hoda Kotb stunned and the crew in chaos. The cameras rolled as Hoda greeted him with her trademark warmth. "Prince Harry, it's wonderful to have you here," she said, her smile genuine. Harry, dressed in a navy suit and open collar, nodded politely. "Thank you, Hoda. It's good to be here." The opening was smooth. Questions about his new charitable projects, his family life with Meghan, and his recent visit to veterans in New York. The audience seemed enchanted. But then Hoda asked the question that changed everything. "Harry, do you ever regret stepping back from royal duties, especially after everything that's happened with your family?" The studio fell silent. Harry's expression hardened. He shifted in his chair, fingers tightening on his knee. "Regret," he repeated, his tone sharp. "I did what I had to do. People think leaving was easy, but they don't know what was happening behind those palace walls." Hoda, sensing tension, tried to keep it gentle. "Of course, it must have been difficult. But do you think maybe the way things were handled, the interviews, the Netflix show, might have hurt your relationship with your father and brother even more?" Harry's eyes flashed. "You think I hurt them? You have no idea what they did to Meghan. The lies, the manipulation, the press attacks, all sanctioned by that system." The audience shifted uncomfortably. Hoda raised a calming hand. "I'm not taking sides, Harry. I'm just asking." "You are taking sides," he interrupted. "Every time someone in the media pretends to be neutral, they're actually defending the monarchy. You don't understand what it's like to be trapped in that machine." Behind the cameras, producers exchanged panicked glances. The control room buzzed. The show was live, they couldn't cut to commercial yet. Hoda leaned forward, her tone still calm but firmer now. "Harry, I respect your experience, truly. But don't you think there's a point where sharing too much publicly can do more harm than good?" Harry's voice rose. "So I should just shut up and let them smear us? That's what you're saying? That we should stay silent while they destroy my wife's reputation?" Hoda's professionalism began to strain. "I'm saying that sometimes privacy helps healing. The public doesn't need every detail of your pain." Harry stood abruptly. The chair screeched against the studio floor. "You have no right to lecture me about healing," he snapped. The crowd gasped. One of the producers whispered urgently, "Cut to break." But Harry's microphone was still live. Hoda tried to de-escalate. "Prince Harry, please. Don't call me Prince," he shot back. "That title cost me my peace." For a long, breathless moment, no one spoke. Then Hoda, calm but visibly shaken, said softly, "Then maybe you should leave, Harry." He glared at her, jaw tight, and without another word, turned and strode off the set. The studio doors slammed behind him. The control room immediately cut to commercial, but it was too late, the clip was already spreading online. Within minutes, social media erupted. Hashtags like #Harry vs Hoda, #Today Show Meltdown, and #Royal Rage began trending worldwide. In the next hour, NBC's phone lines were flooded, some praising Hoda for standing her ground, others accusing her of ambushing Harry. Tabloids called it the interview that shook morning TV. Behind the scenes, Hoda sat quietly in her dressing room, her coffee untouched. "I didn't mean to push him," she murmured to a producer. "I just wanted honesty, not hostility." Meanwhile, Harry's team released a brief statement. The Duke of Sussex will not be continuing his scheduled media appearances. He stands by his words and refuses to be silenced. But inside, Harry wasn't calm. He paced the suite at his hotel, his phone buzzing with messages. Meghan had already seen the clip. "You lost your temper again," she texted. "You gave them what they wanted." He threw the phone on the bed and stared out the window at Manhattan's skyline. The city lights blurred through the rain, reflecting his turmoil. For the first time in a long while, he wondered if speaking his truth had done more harm than silence ever could. He whispered under his breath, "Maybe she was right, maybe I shouldn't have gone." Outside, thunder rolled across the sky, and somewhere deep inside, Harry felt the storm he'd tried so hard to escape had just followed him across the ocean. The next morning, the Today Show studio was buzzing with tension. Producers avoided eye contact, the control room whispered in low tones, and Hoda Kotb, normally the sunshine of morning television, sat quietly at her desk, staring at her reflection in the makeup mirror. The previous day's interview had exploded across every network and social platform. Headlines screamed, "Prince Harry storms out live, Hoda left speechless." "Royal meltdown on American TV." "NBC in crisis after Prince Harry clash." Even British tabloids were merciless. The Daily Mail called it a new low in royal relations. The palace issued a single, carefully worded line, "His Majesty has no comment." Hoda exhaled deeply as Savannah Guthrie, her co-host, entered the dressing room. "You okay?" Savannah asked softly. "I don't know," Hoda admitted. "I've had difficult interviews before, but this felt different. It wasn't just anger, it was pain." Savannah nodded. "You didn't do anything wrong. You asked fair questions." But Hoda's conscience wouldn't quiet down. "Maybe I pushed too hard. Maybe I made him feel cornered." At that very moment, across Manhattan, Prince Harry sat alone in a dimly lit suite at the Ritz-Carlton. His team had cancelled his remaining interviews, but that didn't stop the phone from ringing non-stop. Piers Morgan had already mocked him on live TV. Royal commentators called him emotionally unstable. Meghan's voice echoed in his mind from their earlier call. "You're giving them fuel again, Harry. Every time you lose your temper, they win." He rubbed his temples, exhausted. "I'm just tired of people judging me without understanding what I've lived through," he whispered. Then, an idea struck him, dangerous, impulsive, but strangely freeing. He called his assistant. "Get me back on the Today Show," he said. "What? After what happened?" "Yes. I'm going back, but this time, I'll finish what I started." The next morning, as the cameras rolled for another live broadcast, no one expected what came next. Hoda was midway through a segment on hurricane relief when the studio door opened, and Prince Harry walked in, unannounced. The audience gasped. The producer's hand froze above the "cut to commercial" button. Hoda turned, eyes wide. "Harry," she breathed. He walked straight toward her, not angry this time, but resolute. "Hoda, I need to say something. Live." She hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Okay, go ahead." Harry turned to the camera. His voice was calm but heavy with emotion. "Yesterday, I lost my temper. I came here to talk about mental health, but I ended up proving how much I still need to work on my own." The studio went silent. Even the control room stopped whispering. He continued, "For years, I've blamed others for my pain, my family, the press, the institution. But maybe part of healing means owning my own mistakes too." Hoda's eyes softened. "That takes courage to say," she murmured. Harry looked at her. "You asked me yesterday if I regret leaving. The truth is, I don't regret leaving the institution. But I do regret letting anger speak louder than understanding." The audience erupted into quiet applause. Hoda smiled, tears glimmering. "Thank you for coming back, Harry. It means more than you know." He nodded. "I should have listened instead of shouting. You weren't trying to attack me, you were trying to understand me." For a brief, human moment, the two simply stood there, a journalist and a prince, stripped of titles and pretenses, both vulnerable in front of millions. After the show, the clip went viral again, but this time for a different reason. Viewers praised Harry's humility and Hoda's professionalism. Hashtags like #HealingMoment and #HarryReturns trended globally. Even Buckingham Palace released a rare, conciliatory statement. The king appreciates his son's words on reflection and healing. Later that night, Harry sat by the window of his hotel room, watching the city lights blink below. Meghan texted him again, "I'm proud of you." That took strength. He smiled faintly. Maybe, he whispered to himself, this is what real healing looks like, not running from conflict, but facing it. Across town, Hoda closed her laptop after reading an email from Harry's team. "Thank you for giving him a second chance." She smiled softly, whispering to herself, everyone deserves one. And as dawn broke over New York, the storm that had once raged between them finally began to quiet, not with anger, but with understanding.